Hi, this is David Odell with OdellCompleteConcrete. Here we have me getting some tools out of my truck. I'm going to do a little block cap here. Putting the scored cap block on this wall that we did. So I'm getting a few little hand tools, masonry trowel, string line, the chicken legs, which is what I attached the string line to, and it kind of hooks over the top of the block. Also, I'm gonna look for a brush. I'm gonna get a brush out of here, stiff nylon brush, just to get all any loose mortar that may get on the side of the block while I'm working. This will just brush it off, and it won't smear into the block. So you have to let it dry before you can brush the block off and clean it up. So you don't want to brush it too early, otherwise it just makes a big mess. That's how you get all the excess off. So here it is. Here's the existing wall, and we're going to add one more course on top of it. See how it was stepped down right here? So we're going to make it, this is a patio we already completed. That's the artificial turf in there, and all it's left to do here is put the cap on and wrap it up. So when I put this cap on, I'm going to drill in to the existing column blocks here. I'm using a 1/2-inch drill bit here with a roto hammer, and I'll use 1/2-inch rebar, and I'll just pound it in. And it gets pretty tight in there. It's you can't pull it out, that's for sure. If you try to pull it out, you wouldn't have any luck. Not by hand anyway. You definitely need some kind of help with a tool to pull that out of there. So that'll work for holding the block on there, and then I'm going to fill it up with concrete. Also, I cleaned all of this. I'm going to have to clean all the top of this block because it's been here for about 50 years or so. I'm going to wire brush the whole top to get it nice and clean, because it looks like there's a little bit of algae and what have you, kind of type of growth on here on top of this wall. So I want a good bond when I throw this next block up, so I'm going to wire brush the whole top just to make sure it adheres good. So this is a little first person action with the GoPro going right off the top of my head. Well, this is a 4-inch wide block, and then it has your H blocks, which are solid filled with concrete, and it usually has a number 5 bar running all the way up when they grout those, and that's really the only structural value this wall has, is the columns itself, because there's no concrete in that 4-inch block. It's just completely hollow. There's no steel reinforcement. So it's crucial that you put some steel on these columns when you add, because that's really the only thing that holds the whole wall in place. So here it is right here. I set the H blocks first. Then what you do, you just pull a string line from point A to point B, and you just follow it. And you'll want to run a level up the wall occasionally, just to make sure that you're staying plumb with the existing wall. Sometimes the existing walls are leaning a little bit, so just a straight edge up the wall, and just kind of maintain the same build as the existing wall. Otherwise, if you try to level the block that you're adding and the other wall's not level, it's going to look kind of funky. So you just match the existing basically. Now they don't make this color block, and if they do, well, they do make that color block of the existing wall, but it's so faded that we got something that's similar, but you'll never match them when they get this old. So there's some other block around the property that is this color here that we're using, and also the neighbor used this same color when they added on the other property. So we kind of were going with the same idea. And this is a little scoring tool to clean up the joints and get them packed in there nice and tight. And I just throw all the excess inside the wall. I got a couple ladders set up over here so I can get in and out of the neighbor's yard. That's an A block, and that's the end of the 4-inch wall. The reason one's an A and one's an H is you can see they look just like, that looks just like an H, so that's why it's an H block. The A is it just has one interlocking end. You got to keep these cavities pretty clean so when you start setting your block, they'll go in there all the way and set down level. This particular property that I'm standing on now is a little bit higher than the neighbors, so you could actually just look right over the top of the wall. So that's why we're adding a block here, to make it a little bit more private. There's the chicken legs, there's the string, there's my level. That's all you need to do a wall. Those 3 things. And your masonry trowel, of course. Here's how you clean up any excess that might have gotten on the wall when you're laying your block. You let the mortar dry a little bit so when you're cleaning up the joints, it's not just smearing around. The way you know if it's too wet is if it's sticking to the bristles of your brush, then it's too wet. Right now nothing's sticking to the bristles, just knocking off the burrs and the excess. So here's a scoring tool, just kind of scoring the joints. Everything's been scored out. I've already cleaned all the joints with the brush. Now I'm just getting some of this excess that fell down on the new concrete. And there was some splattering on that vinyl fence a little bit, the brand new vinyl gate and fence. The way you put those down, this vinyl fence we put in later, all we do is we drill a hole right where the posts are going to go. We drill that in the concrete. We epoxy a number 5/8 inch rebar in, and then we fill the post with concrete, and then it doesn't move. Then you can drill in and screw your hinges into that, and it's nice and solid, and it doesn't rot. You never need to paint it. Here's your artificial turf. It turned out beautiful. Block caps up. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a good one.